Hi, I'm Rabindra Sakya, Solution Architect from the Amazon Web Services.
And I'm Darren Cook, and I work for Blue Planet.
Today, we're going to talk about how Blue Planet use the AWS service to accelerate the B2B monetization of the connectivity service using the AI agent-based service to accelerate the connectivity. We're going to talk about the challenges. Here, there are multiple challenges when the CSP provide the connectivity service. One of them is the service onboarding velocity due to the multiple system being need for the provisioning. And then the other is a cross-domain network. There are multiple technology to configure. And also to solve this, there are CSPs are using agents to solve this problem, but there are many more agents need to be deployed. So that's why there is also the burden of managing the agent itself. So those are the challenges. So in this demo, we're gonna showcase the 3 different use cases, each going step by step. First is the creating the device model by system admin and the network engineer. The next will be the making sure that the device is ready to be provisioned and used by the customer. So that's making by network engineer who's gonna use the device, make it ready. The last one is to make sure that the order from the customer to the fulfillment and the assurance, the end-to-end use case. On each of this use case, we're going to use the different agents that's running on the Amazon Bedrock Agent Core. So we'll hand it over to the Darren.
Okay, so the first part of the demo is got really 3 sections to it, which is the model definition, which is where we're using the equipment modeler to generate the device model. And then we update the OSS with that device model and also then plan the network rollout. So you can see here that we've got the Blue Planet IDE. And so at the bottom here, we've got a chat agent, and we're requesting the generation of an Cisco ASR 9001 device. And we're also passing across a data sheet as well as part of that request. So this agent is running on Agent Core. So you can see here that we've got the Agent Core screen, and you can see that we've got the details about the agents, the versioning, and also the status of the agent as well. We can also drill into a dashboard of that. And you can see here that we've got information about the sessions, the token usage, and also the CPU and memory consumption. So going back to the IDE, and now we've actually made the request to the agent, we can see that it's produced a device model, and it's generated 2 Tosca files here. And once the Tosca files are generated, it's added to our project, and this is an example of the Tosca generated file. And when we click upload on here, that uploads it to the OSS, and then we can start doing our planning for the new devices. So the second part of the demo is around enabling service readiness. So once we've done our planning for our new device types, we can then start discovering and reconciling to make sure that the plan that we did in the inventory system corresponds to what we have on the network. So there's 2 agents that we have around this, which is the device reconciliation agent and the inventory schematics agent. So you can see here we've got a schematic of the network, or a topology of the network. And you can see here that we run the discovery and reconciliation process, and it's found a number of discrepancies between the network and the inventory. So this is in more detail. So you can see here individual discrepancies, so things like cards and pluggables that are missing. And you'll notice that they've all been resolved. And this is the agent that's actually been able to resolve those discrepancies automatically. So when we come back to our topology now, you can see that we've got 2 new device types, our ASR 9001 devices. So we can run a schematic on our Memphis device. And you'll notice here that we've got a nice diagram of the device as it appears in the network. One thing to note here is the schematic agent is helping us to build these generated device models, or these schematics. So the third part of the demo is around agent-led intent. So this allows us to start provisioning services on the network using our new device models. So here you can see we've got several agents that we're using as part of this: the intent translation agent, the incident resolution agent, and the resource forecasting agent. And you notice here we've got several steps. So we have to capture the order, we qualify the order to make sure that it can actually go ahead. We orchestrate the order, that's actually provisioning the service on the network, and then we monitor through our assurance capability. So this is a mocked up order entry system that will be used from a CSP's point of view in a BSS environment. And you'll notice here we're having a conversation with the customer about the service that they want. And once they're happy with the details, once we've collected all those details, and the service intent agent helps us to provide those details, we also get several options here for the different service levels. So for example, bronze, silver, and gold. Now, once the customer is happy, then they can click order. This then sends the details into our service order management product, where we've taken the intent and we've converted that into a service template so that we can see all of the attributes here ready for designing. We also performed several operations on this service. So for example, we've got design, provision, and activate. The one we're going to drill into is the design. So you can see here we've got a workflow, and this workflow has done things like assigned capacity, it's found the nearest point of presence from an AWS point of view, and also it's created the connection and assigned the EVC's VLAN IDs. So this is showing you a topology of the service that we've designed. You can see here that we've got our ASR 9001 devices, which we designed in the first step, and we've also terminating on an Atlanta AWS site. So this is really showing you a more detailed view of that. So you can see here the physical and logical ports and the capacity utilization, and you'll notice that it's terminating on the AWS device. And finally, once we've provisioned the service, we then send it to our assurance system. And this is an example of the service as it's in the insurance system. So you can see here on the left-hand side, we've got all the service itself and all the objects associated with that service. We've also got the performance information that we're monitoring to ensure the service meets its SLA.
I wanted to highlight some of the benefit that we have given this from this demo solution. First is to revenue assurance, because we are able to do the quick provisioning of the services, and the improved customer service based on the need of the customer can be met, and also the SLA can be improved by quickly. And operation efficiency because of the automation. And then lastly about the agent, because we have multiple agents using the agent core system, which is a serverless platform for getting that into, without needing to manage operator themselves, the agents. And in the next few slides, I'll talk about the architectures that power these demo solutions. Okay. So here's the solution architect that you could see on the left-hand side. There is a Blue Planet OSS solutions, and then the number of agents that Darren talked about that's running on the agent core, as well as some on the EKS service. Here we are showing some of the agents running on the EKS to show the flexibility that it can be run on the either side of it, and they can be interoperated using the standard protocol like A2A and the MCP. The one thing I wanted to highlight on the benefit of using the agent core is that's going to the next slide. So here it's an expanded view of the agents that's running on the agent core. And you can see a few of the agents that's on the agent code runtime. These are multiple components that build together to make the Bedrock agent core. A couple of items that I wanted to highlight is the agent core gateway, which allows in this demo to be able to connect to the existing BSS or OSS system. For example, the CRM, billing, and the DASs, without needing to modify much on the agent, because it just exposes the current API towards the agent. The agent can view it as a tools or through the MCP. And the next is the identity for the security of the agent communications, and also the agent core observability, which provide the detailed performance of the agents that's been used. And then the agent core memory, which is used for handling the context for both short-term and the long-term memory. So the overall, the value of using the agent core is the operator doesn't need to manage their infrastructure for it running the agent by themselves. So these are all the serverless environment. Thank you.
Thank you.